Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. Today we are continuing the STRV grind, and we have 3 replays to show you in the Tier 9 STRV 103-0. So this is the Tier 9 STRV, and we're continuing our grind to that Tier 10. And we have 3 replays to show you today and see what this tank can do. Now, I've actually had quite a lot of fun playing the Tier 9, actually. Probably more fun than I thought I was going to have. So, unlike the Tier 8, which if you've seen the previous videos on Tier 8, this Tier 9 isn't as quick. You only have a top speed of about 50 kilometers an hour in this tank. And you can also, similarly to Tier 8, you can go backwards very quickly. You've got a 45 kilometers reverse speed. You then have a 390 alpha gun with 308 penetration on the standard rounds, with a fantastic shell velocity of 1500, and on the premium rounds you've got 350 APCR pen with actually slightly less shell velocity, 1450 on the premium rounds, but still very, very good. And the combination of this actual shell velocity, good penetration, and gun handling when you're in at the STRV mode, when you activate that suspension, means this gun's like an absolute laser. It still has fantastic camo rating. I've got that down to about 189 concealment with the cruise skills you'll see on the bottom of my screen. And yeah, it's actually quite fantastic. I actually really like playing the STRV. It can still be situational, but at least with this Tier 9 you have slightly more armour. Well, you have more armour than the Tier 8 version, so you can bounce a few shots when you are maximising your gun, your gun depression on the ridge lines. And you've got that 10 degrees of gun depression when you activate the that siege mode, which is really good. So the first one, we've got a more traditional map for STRV, which could be good for it. So we've got Westfield, and we've pushed up into position to punish the cross, and thankfully we do have a decent light Thankyou who is trying to spot the cross here, and we're just waiting to see what he does spot. A lot of our team are on the hill on the left, and to the top left hand part of my mini map, we don't have that much tanks there, which does mean I want to try and win this side quickly if possible, but obviously I'm at mercy to my team to spot the tanks, because when you're in a tank like the STRV, you can't always be that aggressive, even though I do try to sometimes, but you do need to be a little bit patient. And thankfully tanks are getting detected, and you can see this fantastic shell velocity of this gun. But you just hit those shots like an absolute, just complete laser. So we go for another shot there onto the object. We get spotted, putting ourselves into 1400 damage and 1 kill. Keeping an eye always on the mini map, just to keep an eye on what's going on. Our light tank is starting to move forward. I go for a shot into this waffle, and I actually end up killing an AMX-50, which I had no idea which was there, so very unlucky for that guy. But we get another shot into the waffle, and he gets shut down by our friendly Murat. Sort of, it looks like we're kind of winning that area, but we are losing the other side of the map. So I need to push forward, basically. I want to try and push forward now and get onto the other side of the ridge so I can shoot those guys in the top of the map as fast as possible, because obviously they're going to be pushing forward towards our base. There's still a few tanks holding them up at the moment. I need them to hold them up for as long as possible. We are now up on tanks, and maybe we can try and surround these tanks. So we can use this ridge line here to activate our gun depression. Like I say, the armor on the Tier 9, you can bounce a few more shots, but it's not like amazing. Like you still can get penned. I think the Tier 10 armor is going to be a lot better since they buffed the armor buff, certainly. Get a nice shot there into the object as they try and escape. I'm not going to try and get any more shots into him, as he's out of our gun line now. But we get then another great shot into the enemy Polish heavy tank on the top, putting us onto 3000 damage and 2 kills. And there is an enemy tank destroyer to my left, which is something I've got to be a little bit careful of. I think it's the only tank which is kind of holding me back, pushing around right now. And I do want to push around to try and get more shots in, but I can't really push forward with this tank destroyer there. But thankfully for me, he is making his way down the ridge, which is good, because now that should allow us a bit, if I want to go in and try and shoot him, at least I'm not going to get shot by the enemy tanks on the hill. And at this point, I'm just being a little bit cautious though, because I don't want to get punished by the tanks on the hill. and I'm trying to keep an eye out on what that tank destroyer is going to do. If he drops any lower, I might be able to actually get past him, and it looks like that's what's going to happen. He's dropped low, and I was thinking about going behind him and just finishing him off, but looking at the position of my teammates, that TD's not in a good position. He's not going to last long in that situation, and he does in fact get taken out. And there's now only 5 tanks remaining. IS-7's coming in for us. We get one shot into him. He pens us straight away. We're now going to just wait, get in this siege mode. If he keeps continuing this path, we should be able to take him out. And we do there, picking up our 3rd kill. Putting us under just shy of 4,000 damage with a tiny bit of assistance. And only 4 tanks remaining. Looking to see if we can get any shots into this Conqueror or this enemy Polish heavy there. We get one straight through the turret of that enemy Resilient, picking up 4th kill. And again, putting us on about 3,700 damage. Only 3 tanks remaining. I'm going to try and push up to the top left where I know I can get side shots on these tanks. I'm keeping an eye on the hit points, just because I want to know how much potential damage is left in this game. The Conqueror is still full health, and that's kind of my target. I'm thinking, let's try, maybe can we get a track shot and try and pick up some track assistance to boost our overall damage. We don't really have a lot of assistance in this game, and maybe if we can track them in place when our friendly team encroach on them, we might be able to pick up some more damage. So I'm going to try and get into this little position where I know I have easy shots onto these targets, and then once we've got there, we can activate that suspension as we do now, and we are looking for shots in this Conqueror. We do track him in place and start to pick up a little bit of track assistance there. We're going to go now for his lower plate, but he turns perfectly for us to actually pen his track wheel and keep him in place, and now we're just going to try and keep him permo tracked here, and we picked up about 1,000 assistance and kind of farmed all this tank. So that's kind of saved our game at the end there, because it's put us on about 5,000 damage, 1,000 assistance. Not the biggest of games, but we get 5 kills, and considering the way the battle played out, yeah, not too bad. So let's just see how we got on. We got 5 kills, just shy of 5,000 damage, 1,000 assistance. We do actually pick up the ace tanker, so I think it's obviously a relatively low ace tanker at the moment. But we got 2 more games to come on, and as my normal thing happens, the games get bigger and bigger as we get through the video. So let's move on to the next video. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2 on Cliff. Now, Cliff I wouldn't say is the best map for the STRV either. Like I say, there's quite a lot of maps which are not great for the STRV. It's not the worst, but it's it's certainly not a map that I'd load up in the STRV and think, oh, great, we've got Cliff. Now, I didn't really want to just sit down the one line because I find that really boring. And at the start I was thinking maybe I'll just cover to see if they come to the middle. But then I decided kind of early doors, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to push round the back of the hill. And I know there is a position where I can at least go hold down on the ridge lines and use my gun depression. I'm just going to see what happens, because obviously if the enemy team full send round this way, then I'll need to get out of there, but at least then I can pull back and then cover my team when they come round. But it doesn't look like that is happening so far. And my friendly Shah, who actually does go on to play a crucial part of this game, so I will give him a shout out later, is pushing it forward, and he is also giving us a bit of vision for us. So he's kind of letting us know what's there, and it doesn't look like there's that much coming down this side, which might be quite beneficial to us, because a lot of the enemy team are pushing into the bowl, and that maybe give us an element of a window to get round us, around the back of them. The Shah does spot an enemy Manticore there, so we are going to see if we can try and get some shots into the enemy Manticore, the enemy tier 10 light tank, who is on a 2-shot to us, and we just squeeze one in, and then the Shah finishes him off there, taking out the tier 10 light tank, which I believe is the only light tank in the game, so that is very helpful. Now we are losing, we are 3 tanks down. I think we lost 2 tanks like straight off the back of the game, which is never ideal. But looking at the map position of the enemy team, like I say, a lot of them are pushed round to the bowl. I suspect there's a couple probably just in their base. So we're trying to get a few shots of this tank destroyer there, and I'm thinking about trying to get down to the K sort of 8 position so that one, I can shoot into the enemy base and any of the camping tank destroyers there. If we're able to outspot them, we can get some shots into them. And also enemy tanks on the bowl, if they're pushed up high onto the top level of the bowl, the bowl I sort of say is like the the middle sort of the line on the bowl in between the one line basically. If you're on the higher ridge of that bowl, you should be able to get shots into them as well. So I'm going to push around here, trying to just make use the best I can of the STRV's camo. It's got okay mobility. It's not terrible. It's not like the tier 8 with fantastic mobility. But like I say, it's not terrible. You do have a fantastic camo. So there you go. I do shoot some of the enemy targets on the sort of top higher level of the bowl. We have slim shots here, but thankfully the STRV does have good accuracy. Unfortunately, the shark kind of has just got in the way blocking our shots, not deliberately, but he's sort of made it a little bit harder for me to get shots. I do shoot him there, not necessarily out of frustration, more to try and just let him know that I do have shots available here, and so does he, but we might be able to shoot these tanks on the other side, and we are trying to just pick up as much damage as I can. I do manage to confirm a kill there, picking up about 2,000 damage and picking up a first kill. The game is kind of turned to a lot closer. Got very, very small shots like that Type 5, which they're kind of like the best shots available to us at the moment. So we're just trying to get the punish in while possible, while it's there. Because obviously when they move a bit further down, I'm not going to be able to get any shots in like now. But now an enemy Ruthless does get spotted in the enemy base. So we're going to see if we can just use our gun to pressure here to get shots in. Trying to expose as little as possible. Because obviously the Ruthless has a very nasty Death Star gun. Not as good as the Death Scar or the FV, the S-Barn. Not as accurate, can be very, very derpy, and it's got big aim time. So he does have to fully aim it. So we're only showing a tiny bit of the tank. I'd have to get... Well, he obviously can hit us, but I'd have to get unlucky to get snapshotted, basically, because I won't be showing a lot of the tank, and he does need to aim it. If he doesn't aim the shot, then there's a good chance he'll miss. The Progetto we got a shot in earlier, still kind of sitting there looking to try and get shots in, and we managed to finish him off. I am now trying to back because I don't want to get shot by the Ruthless. He could potentially one-shot us, so we do have to be careful. But we do want to try and get shots into him while we can. We're on 7 versus 7 now. We have a fairly decent map spread, so I kind of got information of wherever the team go right now. If they go towards our base, they should get spotted by our tank destroyers over that side. So I have no real reason to move at the moment. I'm just waiting to see if shots develop. Again, if they start to push around this middle, I might be able to pull back and try and get some shots into them, which I'm just looking for now to see if we can maybe finish off that one shot back chat there in the centre. But we don't quite have the shots in, and we are just keeping an eye. If this Ruthless pushes up any higher, we'll be able to get more damage in right now. Now we do get detected, which I suspect is from that enemy back chat, and we're just trying to pull back again so I don't get shot by that Ruthless and lose all my hit points. But I really would like to try and kill this Ruthless if possible. It's got a very, very nasty gun, and I don't seem to have any better shots right now. So again, I'm just waiting to see if he pokes. It looks like he's going to poke higher, but he doesn't. This time he does poke a little bit higher. Maybe I can get a shot into his cupola, but I'm just waiting. I don't want to miss and trying to squeeze in, because obviously it does have the E4 cupola, but the turret is, it's not that powerful. I probably can pen the cheeks, it's not the full E4 turret, so I probably can pen the cheeks of it. Enemy type gets spotted on the other side. I'm looking for side shots into his turret, but again, they are slim pickings, and the enemy team have now started to cap. So that is, it's a concern of mine, but this is not just the biggest of maps, and he is now got detected in the cap, and I'm kind of hoping that maybe one of the friendly teammates might get some shots into him while I'm trying to farm this Ruthless, and now I've got a window of opportunity to do. We put 2 shots into him. Thankfully, I think the enemy teammate in the cap hopefully should die by a medium on the other side, which will mean I won't have to go over there. And thankfully, he does get taken out, which is very, very handy for us. I think that was from the enemy friendly Shah, actually, which is good. But now we're in a 3 versus 4 here, trying to get shots into that type. Well, I've got one shot in, trying to get a secondary shot into the type. We do damage his engine there. Maybe we can set him afire if we're lucky. But he just manages to get behind that rock and out of cover. Now we are left in a 4 versus 2 situation, and it's just me and the friendly Shah from earlier. And the only good thing I've got going for, we are outnumbered, 2 to 1. But the enemy team are in heavy tanks and slow tank destroyers. So they don't have anything particularly quick. So we'll be able to outspot them and outmaneuver them, which is very handy in this situation. But I really don't want to lose my friendly Shah. So I do turn around to see if I can get any covering shots in to try and help him escape if we can. But now we are just going to just get out there and just get a little bit of distance, because I didn't really have any shots. I don't want them to close the distance on me and pin me in one corner, because then I will be in trouble. So I want to just keep getting shots in, retreating, getting shots in, retreating, trying to just get shots in unspotted basically. So they got, so I'm not going to take any immediate damage. Enemy object tank destroyer comes in. We go for a shot in the lower plate. Unfortunately, we don't bounce. We bounce it. Sorry, he is full health. We're just waiting to see if we can get any more shots in. But now the enemy teammate, they know where we are, and they're closing in too quickly, and they're going to just sort of take that positioning away from us. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get out of there. We've got lots of time on the clock. We've got about 6 minutes on the clock, so I'm not too concerned. They can't cap us. I'm not worried about that. I just don't want to get pinned in one corner. I want to be able to farm them when they're in the open. So what I'm essentially going to do now, I know that I don't know, but I got a pretty good guess that they're going to be following us down this road. I want to try and get to the other side of the map so that when they come out the road, we can outspot them and potentially farm them in the open. We've got a pretty decent game so far. We've got 2 kills, 5,000 damage, 800 assistance, and we're actually full hit points, which could be very handy because we could afford to take a few shots here. So trying to get back on this map, like I say, the friendly Shah, it looks like he's going for the hill, which is a very good move, because if the Shah takes the hill here, we can get 2 crossfire angles, and if they do push up for myself, then they're basically going to get stuck in the open, and they'll be able to get farmed from the hill from the Shah. So I'm hoping he does take the hill, because that would be a good play. And I'm just waiting to see if we can get some shots in. The enemy tank destroyer on the right hand side does get spotted. I'm guessing that's the Ruthless, which we left on, I believe, a 1-shot earlier. So we are going to start to move forward here to see if we can try and get any shots in. Enemy type gets spotted, which is left on a 2-shot. Now I take that first shot, don't get detected, put him onto a 1-shot. Now I'm thinking, can I just take that last shot? Hopefully I don't get detected again, because he's firing through a bush. But unfortunately I get detected, which is not good. I get the first shot I take in this game, I get penned by the nasty tank destroyer, but then set on fire. And I only got out there with a sliver of hit points. I'm now on 100 hit points, which was far from ideal. But the Shah is on the top of the hill now. So now what I'm going to do is pull all the way back. And, unfortunately, what I didn't want to happen is that enemy heavy tank to get detected on the other side. Because that is far from ideal. I wanted to try and pull back so if the tank destroyer chased me, I'd get shots in. And then the Shah would just effectively get rear shots into his armour from the hill. The enemy team is a 1-shot. So we go for this shot, we hit it, but we don't pen it. And that's a nuisance now, because that means I can get shot by the tank destroyer on the left and this heavy tank. If we would have killed that TD, I'd have been in a good position still, because I could have gone far left again, and I could have got out unspotted by the enemy heavy tank. But right now, I'm just not in a good position. I'm going to have to drop, which is effectively putting me in a very awkward corner situation. All what I'm trying to do is stay alive for as long as I can for that Shah to come and help us. I'm thinking this is all over. Enemy tank destroyer misses his shot, which is great. We're going to aim for the second shot in the track wheel. We aim our shot. Unfortunately, we don't pen it. I think maybe repaired just at the right time and then pull back. We do manage to get one in, and then he does take us out. At least we put 2 shots into him. We should have put him onto a 1-shot, but we get a bit unfortunate there, a bit of poor timing. And we're now left into the fate of our friendly Shah, who does manage to take out the 1-shot tank destroyer. And now he just has 1 enemy heavy tank who's on a 2-shot to him. So I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, this Shah player was playing well. Like I say, he does have a big impact in the game at the end. So he's just reloading the shells. He's going to be able to outspot, outmaneuver this heavy tank. So long as he takes his time, he should be able to take him out. Like I say, he's having a good game. He's got 4,000 damage. And he's just looking to see if he can get to a position to outspot that heavy. He knows roughly where the heavy tank was last located. He's got the mobility. He will be able to outspot them. It looks like he actually gets detected, but he spots the tank. He gets shot once, and now he knows he's going to hopefully try and finish him off. He puts him onto a 1-shot, and I was hoping he doesn't get taken out here, but thankfully he kills the enemy heavy tank. And he does manage to get us that win in the end. So, shout out to the Shah, well played. But we go on to have a decent game ourselves. We get 3 kills, 6,600 damage, and 845 assistance, picking up the ace tanker there in the high caliber. That's it for replay number 2, and one final replay to come. Okay, so here we are for the final replay on Arctic region. There is one enemy fun place in the game and one enemy light tank. Now this time we are top tier, I believe, so that should come in helpful. And we're going to initially try and push to the sort of rock in the middle of the map in front of us, where there's some bushes on the low ground, and see if we can spot the cross or see if we can get any punishment on the cross early doors. There's quite a lot of bushes in the low ground, and in a tank like the STRV, which does have fantastic camo rating, you can use that position quite well. Obviously it's a bit risky if you do get detected there. We get spotted coming in, that's okay, I kind of expected to, but there's no one really to get any initial punishment on me. And I'm going to go straight to these bushes straight away, just to see if we can spot anything. And as you see, we've got about 4 or 5 different bushes in there, so we've got a good chance we can stay undetected. And we are going to try and take a shot there into the tortoise. Unfortunately, we don't pennies cupola that time, but maybe it'll give us another opportunity at it. And this time we do, and we pick up 409 damage. But the cross is happening now, and I want to get the punish on this cross before they get into a position where I can no longer shoot them. Get a nice shot into the KV, hoping to get a secondary shot on something across him, but we spot this enemy Victoria, who's not in the best of positions. So we try and get a shot into them, but it gets unlit, and we wasn't able to pick that in. But we do start to pick up some assistance. Enemy KV here is crossing. We get a shot straight into them. We don't think we're going to get another shot, but we're following him just in case he gets tracked, because if he does, then we might be able to just get another shot into them. And at this point, we're just trying to just look for some shots onto the hills. There's not a lot else we can do right now, so we're just waiting to see if there's any more punishment. But it looks like an enemy light tank has come in, and I'm going to move back in case I get detected in that area. And I wanted to try and reverse up this hill, but kind of discovered that I can't reverse up like that, and that's far from ideal. But thankfully we're not getting detected, and no one was focused right then, and we're allowed to get safe in this position. And we're going to go back into siege mode to try and cover our tanks from here. And an enemy tank is now crossing. We're looking to try and get shots. It's from that Victoria from earlier. I think there's also an enemy pattern going in, looking to try and get a shot into that tank. Unfortunately, just gets out, so we can't shoot him. So we're going to focus the Victoria instead. Try to get a track shot there, but we don't manage to track him in time. But we should reload in time to get another shot into him. And because he hasn't gone into that dip, he's kind of now caught in the open, and we've got a free farm here. We should get the kill, and we do, putting this under 2,600 damage and 1 kill. And we're just scanning around constantly just to see what's detected. Enemy VZ is now going in. We get 1 shot in. We're getting shot from that enemy medium tank earlier. Thankfully, he does bounce, and we are actually blocking a few shots here. We get tracked in place, so we can't get another shot into the VZ. But we've got obviously the track repair kit on, and we managed to get a nice shot into that medium tank there. And this is when you're fighting like the lower tier tanks, the armour can be quite effective. Obviously when you're fighting the tier 10s, not so much, but here we are actually bouncing a lot of shots, and he's struggling to pen us. And we put that tank onto a 1-shot. We're looking to try and get some shots into that VZ and try and help out our friendly T-44. He's managed to do a good job at staying alive there. but unfortunately he's now getting pushed by an enemy tier 9 VZ, and that's not going to be a good situation. So he's trying to run, I'm trying to get shots in to cover him. Unfortunately he doesn't get out of there, and he ends up getting taken out. I'm guessing that the VZ's probably on a reload now, but we've had a decent start to this game. It's still very close. We've got about 4,000 damage, we've got 1 kill and a bit of assistance there, and I'm weighing up my decision to whether I go into the VZ. I don't want to fight him where he is there, but if he carries on pushing, I might consider going in to help out our friendly heavy tank there. I'm just going to try and scan to see how much hit points our heavy tank has, and he's full health. So I'm thinking, well, that VZ can't kill him. He can't kill him in one clip. It means he's going to get stuck there, and I am just going to go in now and just finish him off, because I don't really want to get stuck in the location I'm in. Because if you look in the north of the map, it looks like the enemy team are winning that side, and I want to be in a position to help defend the base from that side. So we should make quick work of this VZ, because he's surrounded, go into siege mode, we get 1 shot in. It's getting pushed by our friendly M103 here, and we've got 3 tanks on him, so he's not in a good situation. He's on reload. I'm looking to try and get the final kill shot in here, and we do manage to squeeze that in, picking up our 2nd kill. We're now going to reverse out of here, because remember the track reverse, you're pretty quick at reversing. It's one of the unique features with the STRV. But obviously you are slightly quicker forward, so now we're going to try and get out of there, because if you look in the top left corner of the mini-map right now, you can see that the enemy team are breaking through, and I want to get in a position to cover my friendly tanks which are there, because the best time for me to farm them is when they're distracted trying to kill those tanks. So as we scan across, this is something which you can just take advantage of in any game. Just always scan to check the hit points of your friendly tanks, the hit points of the enemy tanks, because it's free information, and that information can dictate what you decide to do. Because I know one of our tanks is quite healthy there. Obviously he's upright against it. He needs to pull right back here and try to make himself as hard as he can to kill. And credit to him, that is what he's doing. I'm trying to get over there to as fast as I possibly can, because I want to be able to cover him, because I'm in a good position now. I'm behind the bushes. He's essentially going to keep the enemy team further enough back for me to farm them. If they now poke on our friendly team, I'm going to be able to punish them. So I was just checking how the bushes were looking, and I'm just waiting now, just doing a patient game and trying to wait to see if they come round. Enemy 1 shot heavy tank comes round, we manage to finish him off, helping out our friendly tank. Waiting again, looks like it's enemy tank destroyer. We get the shot in, we track him, but unfortunately we don't pen him at the same time. But he is tracked. We're farming the track assistance there, and we manage to get a shot in. Maybe we'll be able to get the kill shot in, and we do manage to pick up our 4th kill of the game there, putting us on to about 5,000 damage. And at this point, I think there's probably only 1 tank left on that side. So I'm kind of waiting to see if he's going to make the same mistake, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen. I think he's going to kind of stay safe. So I'm weighing up my options here, just kind of having a little look in the mini-map and deciding, do I want to move forward? Because it's a 7 versus 7. We're having a good start to this game. It's 5,000 damage, 1,000 assists. We've got 4 kills. But there's still quite a lot of hit points left in the game. I know there was that enemy tortoise, and from memory, I only put 1 shot into him. So unless he's been bled later on in the game, which I haven't seen, he could have a nice chunk of hit points for me to potentially get. So I want to just get over there as quick as I can now. I'm going over to this enemy TD to see if we can take him out. It gets shut down anyway by our Action X, and at this point it's just, I want to try and farm. I want to just get to that damage, see if we can, how much more we can get out of this. We are full health, and we're just having a look. There's 2 mediums or 3 tanks on the right hand side. I'm thinking I might be able to push up through the middle and then potentially get shots into the rear of those tanks. The only threat is obviously that tortoise is still camping on the hill. That could be a problem. Now I did see an enemy fun place, enemy artillery tracer, come from like the A6 position there, so that gives us some indication of where the enemy artillery is, which is helpful. Just try and remember that, where the damage is. Had a quick look on the map there to see what tanks are left. I think there was a standard B there, something we might have to watch out for. We don't get caught out and clipped out. And I just wanted to poke to see if there's any like rear shots on any of these tanks, but I'm guessing they've actually kind of progressed through now. Maybe they're going towards our base, but the enemy tortoise gets spotted, and I know that he's not on the ridge anymore, so at least he's not going to poke and get shots at me right now. an enemy medium tank, the Super Sherman, gets spotted crossing, we should be able to get a shot into this tank. We do get one in, we don't get detected thanks to our camo, but he's now gone safe in the low ground where we don't have any more shots in. And I'm thinking I'm going to go and see if we can get shots in this enemy Fun Police who's got spotted, an enemy Tortoise, so that Tortoise is distracted and not just constantly shooting our tanks crossing, because obviously the Tortoise DPM is fantastic. Enemy Fun Police gets counterbalanced by our friendly artillery there, and we're going to go and see if we can get a shot in the behind of the Tortoise. Obviously the Tortoise, you know, doesn't have a turret like us, so we can at least get behind him. He's not going to be able to shoot us while he's attracted. I went for the track wheel shot just to track him in place, but it's used this repair kit. Thinking about I want to try and get the track shot in again if I can. I couldn't quite manage it, and now he's going to face me. Means I'm probably going to eat a shot here, but I don't want to stand in front of the Tortoise, because the Tortoise has got, you know, devastating DPM, and he will win the trade if I just stay fighting him. So he is quite slow to traverse though, so I'm obviously not using the speed mode to shoot here, because speed mode, the siege mode, because if I get in the siege mode he's going to be able to get behind us. I'm just trying to get the shots in out of that mode, and that is a little bit awkward to do, but we're left in a 2 versus 2. The other tank's nowhere near to help, so I know I'm in a 1v1 versus a Tortoise at the moment, which I'm okay about. I just want to get him down low enough like this, so that then I can just stand in front of him, and, you know, he'll be I'll have the hit point advantage, but I really want to get one more shot in if I can. So I'm trying to squeeze that in. Now we've got him, we now know he's a one shot. I'm just going to go into the siege mode, and I can just wait and get that shot into the cupola, and we finish off the game with 5 kills. I think we get just over 7,000 damage there with 1,000 assistance, so we've had a really decent game. Got over 2,000 base XP, we blocked 1,000 tanks, and yeah, so 8,000 combined. Get the ace tanker, the high caliber, actually getting the first mark as well on this grind. And that's it for the replay. So yeah, the next one will be obviously in the tier 10, so I'm looking forward to unlocking that, and I can get a replay out on that tank for you. We've completed the line then. But yeah, thank you so much for your support, and happy tanking.
Hadouken!